Mary Pipino, and welcome to Fit for You, the show that teaches you how to live a healthier and more fit lifestyle. We have an exciting show for you today. A very dear friend that I have known for most of his lifetime and a good part of mine, that went on to celebrity status. Ray Boom Boom Mancini will be joining me, and we're going to talk about his career, his success, and what's kept him successful up through today. I hope you enjoy the show. It's with great pleasure I introduce to you my friend and a true celebrity from our hometown, Ray Boom Boom Mancini. Hi, Ray.
Oh, Mary, that intro is too kind.
Oh, honey, you're amazing, and I'm so honored to tell everyone that I've known you since you were in high school.
Yeah, Mary, you gave me my first job. My first job was I was a busboy, at Fond du Lac at that time, and you hired me.
At the country club my dad owned.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And I remember from way back when, you were always so kind, so caring, and two really important qualities in addition to passionate and hardworking. And you have carried those throughout your whole life, and I think that's why you have been able to continue your success, because so many people, I think, that have had fame when they're younger sometimes struggle when they get into the next decade or two after, and you've been able to maintain greatness.
I've been able to maintain because you got to be. First of all, you understand it's borrowed time. Your career is everything has a shelf life. Your career shelf life, especially in the fight game. The fight game is not made. My style of fighting was not made for a long career. I understood that on Front Street, but I sacrificed longevity to become. My style was fan friendly, so to make my score. And I was fortunate to get in, and very lucky that people remember my fights, and I was able to do well. And at some point, I lost the love for the game. I had no passion for it. But I was only 24 at that time. And people thought, oh, you're so young. But I had no passion for it. I was married to my career, but like in any marriage, once you lose the passion, you got to walk.
But you had another passion. Yeah. You had a passion for your family and for your mom and dad.
Yes.
And talk a little bit about the passion, because, I think an important thing when you try to live a healthier and more fit lifestyle, if you don't have passion for something, it's hard to be happy and find your purpose.
You won't be. You're absolutely right. It's when I tell my kids, whatever you do in life, make sure you have a passion for it. Don't worry about the money. Forget money. Money will come if you're good at what you do. Money will come if you're good at what you do. But you got to have a passion, because if you plan on doing it for quite a long time, probably the rest of your life, you got to have a passion for it. I see so many people who get jobs and making, great salaries, six-figure salaries, that are miserable. They're miserable. And that's not life. Many things I've learned, I'm sure, like yourself, it's all about the journey, ain't the destination. Life is nothing but a journey. You got to enjoy the ride. You got to enjoy the ride. So I encourage people, I encourage my kids, take shots in life. Take shots. I've taken shots. I've missed more than I hit. Trust me. I've had a lot of failures in business world, but I've had a few successes. But I have no regrets, because I took the shot, and it's all been on me. I spent my money at stake, and nobody else's, and so.
But we don't know success if you don't understand failure.
Well, of course, it's the other side of the coin. Failure and success are just the flip side, and that's why people who. And of course, as you know, you got to fail so you understand how to succeed.
Absolutely.
And all the failures I've had has taught me more than all my victories in the ring, and all my successes outside the ring. So but more than anything, I'm having a good time with it. A couple things haven't hit the way I expect them to, not yet. When they do, they're great. But in the meantime, I'm enjoying it. And like I said, I have a passion for these things, and certainly my entertainment company and my health and wellness company, and which includes the wine, because that's health and wellness to me.
It is. Hey, glass of wine or two.
Absolutely. Every day.
Yep.
So it's a lot of things you got a passion, but more than anything, like you said, you got to have a passion for it.
You came back from, you were in California for many years and did very, very well out there. And then you decided to come back because you wanted to help the community, I think, that you feel was probably a great contributor to your success. And you started a website. So I went to your website when I was preparing, because I want to make sure I'm current. And it was very interesting to me. I loved one of the things you say on your website is that you wanted to inform, educate, but most importantly, you wanted to entertain. And you said, and if I don't entertain you, then it's the F&L, the first and the last.
That's it. It's an F&L. That's it. First and last. I won't be doing it no more. Yeah. I mean.
And then everybody wants to be entertained. We live in a world today where, we need a little bit of feel good. We need a little bit, everybody, we got to find some happiness and some feel good time.
Well, there's no doubt. And that's why what you said, they tell you, what's the things in life? And you talk to people who are elderly, who've lived great lives, 80, 90, and they say, what's the key to life? And they say, everything in moderation, eat, drink, but you have to laugh. And then when I'm tight, they always say you got to laugh. And I think that laughter is food for the soul. And so you got to find that. You got to find it. You got to have a couple times a day that you got to be able to have a good laugh.
And I was talking to Maria Metters, who runs your foundation, which we'll get to in a little bit with your darling wife Tina. And I said to Maria, what would you, if you had to make one comment to me about Ray that summarizes him, what would it be? And she said, his love for mankind is his greatest quality. And you will give everyone, no matter where you are, what you're doing, what the event is, you give everyone your time and your attention. And I've experienced it. And no matter who they are, because everybody wants a little bit, I want to talk to Ray, can I meet Ray? And you will sit and talk to people and are so kind and generous. And that's a very important quality.
Well, I'm honored they even want to talk to me. And I mean that sincerely. I never take it for granted. My father and mother, they taught me well. And my father used to tell me about the fame game. Raymond, don't ever take it serious. Same people calling you champ on the way in or calling you bum on the way out. Don't ever take this serious. I enjoyed it, had a good time with it. And he was talking about the fame, not so much the responsibility that comes with it. That I take serious. And I know as a young kid, I had my heroes. I still do. And I know my own children had heroes, and I saw how my own children were let down by certain athletes who wouldn't sign an autograph and stuff. And my rage built, man, because I've been there. I know what it's about. It don't take much to shake somebody's hand. Don't take about a couple seconds to sign an autograph, to make sure to sign your name, but also to personalize it to them. It doesn't take much time, but it ain't hard to be a good guy. It ain't hard to be a good guy, but you got to work hard to be a jerk off. You really got to work hard to be a jerk off. And so I don't understand why people can't do it more. And I always said to myself, I'm not going to be that guy who breaks anybody's heart, that kid's heart, because you hear the stories all the time, and I've heard them. That one guy wouldn't do it and broke the kid's heart, and you can't be that.
And I know kids are very important to you.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit real quick. Because some of our viewers may not understand the history, especially some of our younger ones. Talk a little bit about your dad had a boxing career, didn't he?
Yeah, my father was a great fighter, a town with a lot of great fighters. And I say it because greatness is overused, way overused. And there's not many great fighters nowadays. A lot of good ones, but not great. And the Depression, my father was a fighter in the 30s and 40s. He was the #1 contender in the world from 1942 to 1944. And he signed, finally got the shot for the title. He signed to fight for the world title in February of 1944. And he got drafted in January of 44. And he said, look, I want to defend my country. I just want the opportunity to fight for the title. And they said, no, we don't want you. We want you now. He said, I'll give all my money to the Army Relief Fund, which at that time was crying for money. They said, we don't want your money. We want you now. So he never talked bad, and he went and defended. He was a frontline infantryman, frontline, Purple Heart recipient. The front line is between you and the enemy. There ain't nobody in between. And he was in a battle, and he got shot up in the Battle of Metz, which, other than the Battle of the Bulge, was the most destructive war in the European theater of operation. And didn't expect him to live. He had so much shrapnel in his body and lost so much blood. And then they said, well, certainly he'll never walk again. He eventually came back to walk, and they said, certainly he'll never fight. And he eventually came back to fight, but he was a shell of what he was. He went in the number 1 lightweight contender in the world, came out of middleweight, which is about, if anybody knows, it's about almost 30-pound difference. And he continued to fight, and he did well, but he never got to the same point where he was as the lightweight. And then when he retired, he came to Youngstown, and I met my mother in New York. My mom's from New York, and then came to Youngstown and started working. So when I was a little boy, I always heard about my father could have been, would have been, should have been world champion if it wasn't for the war. He had already beaten the champion in a non-title fight, which got him the title fight. And for whatever reason, people say, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I said, I want to be a fighter and a world champion for my father. Oh, isn't that cute? How cute. But that's all I ever wanted. And that's why I was, later after I was on the climb and I won the title, a reporter once said to me, said, now that you won the title, did you really think you'd win? I go, yeah, man, yeah, because I used to dream about it. I used to envision it. I used to see myself at night when I go to sleep carrying the belt over my head. I said, now, sports psychologists have a fancy name. It's called positive mental visualization. It's a term they use, positive mental visualization. I said, hell, I always thought it was called dreaming. And
I love. We're going to go back to that term because people can accomplish. That's when I talk about the passion. When you said, I kind of lost the passion for fighting, you had the passion to do something for your father.
Yeah.
And win that title, and you did, and it was probably a greater gift for him to see you win it than for him to win it.
You absolutely said that, Mary. I often said that my father, he never. Absolutely. And as I'm father now, I understand that. To see my son accomplish what I would hope to accomplish someday, it would mean more to me if he got it. And yes, I agree. And he had a great time. He was along for the ride, and we enjoyed it. He traveled everywhere with me, and I think it brought a lot of happiness for him and my mom. And and that's the thing. It brought recognition to his career that he so richly deserved. And I was glad I was able to do it for him.
And I had the honor of knowing them, not really, really well, but knowing them. But when you go back, and I pulled up some of the videos and so on, and I could bring tears to my eyes. When you see him, when you're winning, and you see him, and you bring him up and you're hugging, it's like, it's just so heartwarming, And I think that is such a great role model, because I think, it shows. We need to have those that care about us and those we care about to be part of who we want to be and what we want to be.
Well, I appreciate that, and that's a great way of saying it. What you said is great. I agree. I mean, we have athletes in general. I think people, and people in general, athletes specifically, I should say, have an obligation to the fans to be a role model. Anybody says they're not is lying. We are role models for the youth, for all people. You want to, like I said, you want to be a good guy, and you want to be a guy not only for the people, but like for my city of Youngstown. Winning the title meant a lot to my father, but I also, after winning the title, I wanted to be a good champion for a well-respected champion. I wanted to be an honorable champion, but I wanted to be an honorable champion for my city of Youngstown also, because at that point I realized I represented the town, not just my family. And my father used to say to me, when you leave this house, remember, you represent this family. You don't represent yourself. You carry the Mancini name. So you got to make sure you don't do anything that embarrasses or bring shame to this family. And I used to think about that, because when young kids go out, they do stupid stuff, and they think, nobody's going to know. Oh yeah, it's not you, it's your family, that name you carry. My father brought honor to it, so I hope I did. And my children, I expressed it to them, and they have, and I hope they will continue. But it's the same thing for the people of your city. You have an obligation to represent your city. They lifted you up, they carried you, they're carrying you on their shoulders. You have an obligation to be a representative, a good representative for them. You have an obligation to live a certain way to represent them well whenever you're out in public or wherever. Because not only Ray Mancini, but Ray Mancini from Youngstown, Ohio. And that goes hand in hand.
And your so-called city goes far beyond even, because as you rose to success because of your kindness and caring for mankind, and your fans are all over this. So you can talk about the boxing community that is behind you and made you, and that whole group and the role model and the kids that follow you and friends. It's amazing how you represent everyone so well.
Well, I thank you, and I appreciate that. And I hope. I just, you try, but I don't try. I tell people, you got to live your life and be who you are. Hopefully, that's the person that the people want to see. Look, I mean, the people of Youngstown, I've said this throughout my career, I said this repeatedly, the people of Youngstown had a large part of my success, and I mean that sincerely, because whenever they traveled to watch me fight, and that was big, and that was big for me as far as my manager negotiating my contract, because he looks how many people he brings to the fights, and the casinos loved that. So it's all part of it, but the people of Youngstown had a large part of my success, and knowing that they, I always said they carried me a lot farther than my body wanted to go at times. Trust me.
What was like you say, you have your fans that follow their sports teams. You had your, Boom Boom fans are amazing.
Yeah, and they are, and I've always, and again, I've never taken them for granted, and I want them to know that I never take them for granted. I never take the fame. I didn't take anything for that, because I'm so appreciative of it, because it's borrowed time. Eventually it's going to end. Eventually I ain't going to be able to get a cup of coffee next door. So what does it mean?
You can always come here, don't you?
I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Hey, I want to talk about the other details real quick, because I'm going to tie it into a cute love story here. So your first major fight was in July of 81, July 19th?
My first one, May of 16th of 1981 was my, even going back, that was my first network fight on CBS. But even before that, it's funny, I said, I was on the climb in 1980, at the end of 1980, I was 16 and 0. 16 and 0. And so going into 1981, looking for opportunity, and they were looking, and they were talking about me possibly getting a TV shot, and it didn't materialize. In January of that year, they were talking possibly, and it didn't materialize. And then, of course, my brother got shot and got killed, and I was training for the fight, and I had to come home for that. And after we buried him, I went back. I told my manager, give me a fight right away, because for me, I grieve things. I grieve painfully, but I have to do it in a short period of time. And I say my prayers, and I rely on my faith to carry me through. So when I got back to New York, I told them, give me a fight right away. And so they were concerned how I'd react after that. So my brother was killed on Valentine's Day of 1981. So they got me a fight March 12th in Madison Square Garden's Felt Forum, which you have the big arena upstairs, and underneath they have we call it the Felt Forum. Now it's just called the theater, and that's where they do the smaller shows, about 4,000 people. And so he got me a fight, and I was the headline. And the reason I'm telling you the story is because
I remember that.
Because that was March 12th of 1981. I won that. That was USA Network, but USA Network at that time was only regional, wasn't national. But I won at a sensational knockout over Storman Norman Goins, who was a real tough guy. He was a contender at one time. That fight got me my first ESPN fight, which was national, which of April 2nd of less than a couple weeks later, and I won a 10-round decision over Al Ford from Canada, and because of that and the way I fought, that got me my first network television on CBS, May 16th of 81, and then from there, it just moved on. And what I'm saying is, things in life, I believe in fate, I believe in my faith, and I believe God takes and He gives. So I took my brother, but things started opening up after that.
And that's a huge ordeal, because TV wasn't like it is today, with DirecTV and cable and a zillion channels.
Right.
So to get that spot was huge.
Right. And then my style was made for TV. I was fan friendly, and the networks picked up, and so CBS became my home. So I was very honored. It was a wonderful time.
You were dating this darling girl, and you're here, but you're traveling a lot.
Yeah. So then then I moved to California. I retired in 1985, and I moved to California shortly afterwards. And she was here, and you keep in touch, but then you lose touch. And throughout my time in California, I'd ask her cousin, "Hey, how's Tina doing?" And she's doing okay. And found out she met somebody and got married, and they had 3 kids. And very happy for her. She was, living the life.
Did she get married before you did?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And then I met somebody, and then I got married, and Tina has 3 children. I have 3 children, and together we're the Brady Bunch.
Wait, it's so cute. Now, I have a question, though. So you win the title on May 8th,
Right.
and that's Tina's birthday.
Right.
Were you dating then?
Actually, no.
Okay.
No. She was only at that time, she wasn't quite 18. She was actually 16.
Okay.
So it was her 16th birthday when I won the title. And but like I said, I knew the family. I'd go over and visit and see them. And
because I think she thought that was a special day when you won it. She was excited.
It's something. Her birthday that I went the same day. It's a very special day for me. So, yeah.
So now I'm going to interject real quick.
good.
So I'm doing my health and fitness thing, and I meet this darling girl who's going to get into training and whatnot. Was talking about training, and her name is Tina. And so I get to know her a little bit, and I don't realize the Ray-Tina connection at the time.
Right. But that was, I think that was even before we even reconnected.
It was?
Yeah, it was before we reconnected. And she tells the story, she remembers, she told me that too, that you were big with the fitness, and she was working on it. It was at 21st Point, I think.
Well, we started at 21st. I started at 21st Point many years ago. Yeah. But then this was probably fast forward about 25 years later when we reconnected, and it all comes together, doesn't it? It goes full circle.
That's for sure.
So how do you two reconnect? Because now you're in California, and she's here. So when I talked to her one day, she goes, "Oh, I'm starting to see. Did you know Ray? Boom, boom." I go, "Do I know him?" I go, "I love him."
Oh, thank you.
But so tell us how that happened.
Tina's a physical therapist, so it's going on 10 years. It was January of 2006.
Not that you remember. I love
remember,
it.
Yeah, I remember days. I'm good days.
I love that.
And she's a physical therapist, and she took over a job for Chuck Fagan, who was my assistant trainer. So that night, Chucky calls me, and I'm trying to think exactly, but it was the mid-January, and he said, "Ray," he says, "who took over my job?" I said, "No," he said, "Tina Rossi." So, oh my God. And then I said, "Yeah." I said, first question, "Well, how's she look?"
Typical male, right?
She look. "Oh, she looks great." I said, "Oh, great." He said, "Look," she said to him, "Hey, you used to work with Ray, right?" Yeah. She goes, "Well, how's he doing?" He said, "Oh, he's doing good." She goes, "Well, I hear he's going through a divorce." He said, "Yeah, unfortunately." She goes, "Well, so am I." He said, "Well, hey, give me your number." So she said, "Yeah, have him call me." So she was trolling.
Oh,
I bit. Here we are. So,
Yeah.
so I started talking to her in January, but I didn't see her till April.
Yeah.
We rekindled a friendship.
Yeah.
And I said, "I'm coming back. I have to come back, and maybe get a cup of coffee." So we did my cup of coffee that day. Went to lunch and wound up going to dinner. So it was nice. And that night we talked, and finally before I left, I said, "Look, I'd like to see you again, but you should date." And she goes, "No, I want to try this. Okay. And I said, "But look, the odds ain't with us. I'm 3,000 miles away, and but I'll come back. We'll try to see each other. Every 4 to 6 weeks, we try to see each other. I travel. If you can come and meet me, and where I'm at, so that's kind of how we did it for about for quite a while, man. I'm just thinking that was about 6 years. We did it 3,000 miles. Now she has 3 children. Her children were in school. My babies are in school. So, and then a little over 3 years ago, her youngest graduated in 2010, 5 years ago. My second child, Leonardo, graduated, but my baby was still in school, and he was just starting high school. I ain't going nowhere. So I said, "But if we're going to do, at that point, the 3,000 miles was getting old. And I said, we're going to do this or we ain't." They said, "If you're going, you got to come out." And I admire her. I admire her very much, because here's a girl who didn't leave her 4-block radius of Camel forever. I mean, seriously, she's, her role was very limited. And she came out there. And I love her forever for that. And she took the shot. And here we are.
And you know what I love about, there are some really important components to that story. And when I can take it all back to a healthy and fit lifestyle. If you have passion and you really want something, don't give up. Okay.
Right.
And you have to have a little luck and a little bit of faith.
Everything,
but a divorce is not a good thing.
No.
But look, it turned into, you can take a negative situation and turn
Do
it into a
good.
positive.
That's right.
You know, have faith, believe, you know, work hard when you want something, and you can get it.
Right.
If you work hard and you know it's an opportunity, you know, don't be afraid to take advantage of it.
You're right,
and
Mary.
great things come.
Relationships are work. You're right. Relationships are work. And 3,000 miles, even if you're across the street or across town, that's hard enough. 3,000 miles. I told her, odds ain't with us. And she knew. I said, so every year go by, hey, we made another year. We made another year. I admire her very much for it. Because, you know, I was focused on my kids. She was focused on hers. And, you know, we just got a chance. I wasn't going nowhere.
Yeah.
And so it worked out. And, you know, she's a good lady. I figured, as I said, we got married, been married a little over a year. And I figured at that time, I said, after 8 years, I figured she deserved a shot at the title, you know.
I love it.
I thought it was funny. She don't think it's funny. You know, that ain't very funny when you say that. I think it is.
I do. I have to tell you, I do like it. I think it's good. Hey, I want to talk a little bit about your workouts and your diet.
Sure.
So I love your workout motto, as you told me, is now, it's smarter, not harder.
That's right. I work out
Tell
smarter.
us about how you're working out.
You know, about 54 now. When I was about 52, my body started breaking down. Really, you know, I was still doing a boxing workout. I still do a boxing workout now, but I modified it obviously. And I was doing a boxing workout then, and cross training. You know, a lot of cross training, and my body was breaking down. It was failing me, and I wasn't feeling right. And I went to my doctor. I said, look, you know, my body's breaking down, and he said, look, what are you doing? And I told him my workouts. He said, you doing a boxing workout? Yeah. He said, still hitting heavy bag? Yeah. Why? Well, it's part of the workout. He said, you got no business hitting heavy bag. You know, I did the workout. I said, look, my arms were on fire after the time I hit the heavy bag. He said, you got bursitis, tendonitis, just throwing some arthritis. You got uveitis. You got no business hitting heavy bag. And he says, you got to modify it. You know, I said, shadow box, jump rope, you know, all the body work, and that's fine. He said, speed bag, that's fine. And, but no more heavy bag. He said, do you do road work? I said, no, I don't go outside, but I do. He said, I do treadmill. I run the treadmill. He said, that's fine. That's good. No reason to be pounding your joints. But I've been doing yoga now for 13 years. And he said, that's great. That's absolutely great. Because as you get older, you want to...
Oh, I didn't realize you were doing yoga.
Oh, yeah. I've been doing yoga 13 years. I started out there. My chiropractor out there in Los Angeles said to me, look, you know, you got to elongate the muscles as you get older. And that's when I learned. As you get older, you got to elongate the muscles. You can't keep pounding the muscles. And so I started doing it. And, it's, you know, anybody who does it knows it's very intoxicating.
Well, you know, it is one of, and I'm a big fan of Dr. Roizen, you know, who the Cleveland Clinic chairs the Cleveland Clinic Wellness Institute, and some, you know, very successful, accomplished physicians that are into this. Yoga's number one, and it's so good to hear because you're a very macho, cool guy. And so to people out there, and especially to some of the younger kids, yoga is something that's part of that lifestyle.
Oh, I got my kids into it when you were in high school because, you know, your body, you break, you know, like I said, I wish I would have been doing it while I was fighting. It's a perfect complement to when you're fighting. As you pound the muscles, you got to elongate the muscles and stretch them out. I love doing it. You know, it's funny when I started doing it in LA, and now I do it here in Youngstown, and they got some great joints. You know, there's really some great places here, and people who really do it well. And but let me just say, I had friends of mine who did it, and said, "Oh, Raymond, you got to come to us. You know, you got to see the girls. Oh my God, yeah. See, that's the wrong reason to do it. Yeah. I do it for the right reason. When I would do it, I'd be when I started in a studio in Santa Monica. I'd be surrounded. I couldn't tell you who's around me. That's the 1 hour I get to get into myself. You know, I would be in with the pretty young girls, but there'd be a lot of older women. All the yentas were around me, and I enjoyed it. I'd become part of that group. You know, and a few guys here and there. But it was great. But I'm so focused on what I'm doing. I'm not worried about what anybody else who's next. I couldn't tell you who's that pretty girl, older woman. It doesn't matter. That's the 1 hour, hour and a half I get to be into myself. And so I enjoy that, the focus and the concentration. But again, you know, and I sweat good. I get a good workout. You know, but I do vinyasa, flow. Vinyasa means flow. And here they have heated yoga, which is great. I enjoy that very much. So you get to cleanse the body. So I do work out. I cross train. I do a lot of, like I said, I do the boxing workout still. I run the treadmill. I do a run walk, 5 minute walk, 5 minute run, 5 minute walk back and forth for 35 minutes. I don't kill myself. 35 minutes is the most I go, and I do.
That's what people don't
Yeah,
understand.
yeah.
You don't have to
No,
kill yourself.
no.
And you're in amazing
No.
shape.
It's maintenance. That's the thing. I'm doing maintenance. I'm not getting ready for no world-class event. I eat. I love to eat. I eat like I'm going to the chair.
No, yes. Once in a while, though, what did you tell me your secret is to eating? You go, I eat whatever I want, but...
Yeah, moderation, but moderation. You know, as you get older, portion size. The one thing that portion size is key as you get older. I don't pass up dessert. I love my desserts. In fact, I usually look at the menu. The dessert's the first thing I look at. That's true. And then I figure out what I'm going to eat. I do a lot, fish and chicken because it's all usable protein. No fats. Yeah, I like steak now and then. I don't go crazy with the red meat, but I do like steak. I still eat pasta, but I don't eat it. If I'm going to eat it, I try to eat it during the day for lunch, not at night. The old rule of thumb, even when I was training, I was following the old rule of thumb is carbs during the day, proteins at night. And that's just just rule of thumb I follow. I love my desserts. I don't go crazy, but again, portion size, smaller things. I mean, me and my wife go out now. We get a dinner. She'll get something, and then we share it. She'll get fish. I get chicken or meat, and then we get the one dessert. We cut it down in half. Get the one cup of coffee. Yeah, we're like my mother and father. We've become our mother and father.
Right.
That's it.
Exactly.
Inevitably, you do.
I love it. Hey, what do you think about the boxing community now? Well, two things. I'm ashamed to tell you, that is in tune because, when you were here, we were all following boxing, and now, it seems like it's changed. What do you think about women in boxing?
It's funny you said that. I've been asked that, and I have a few friends of mine that are women fighters that are friends of mine, and I tell them stop. I go in a few gyms here. My friend Jack Lowe has a gym here on Southside Boxing. I go in, there's young girls training. I like that. Young girls training to get because it's the best workout. It's the best because people have to understand boxing workout is the best overall workout. Why? And it has been forever. First of all, boxing was the original core workout. It's all core. It's all focused on here, on the core.
Why try to tell people, if you're running on a treadmill or doing cardio, try to hold your arms up or put your arms here and continue the motion or continue moving. It's unbelievable. When you have to hold your arms up, that is immediately, getting your core involved, engaging. Exactly.
Yeah. Well, and boxing is one sport that uses upper body and lower body muscles simultaneously. Because as you're moving on your legs, it's all cardio, of course, but your strength, balance, dance. Dance is a great workout. That's one of the things I do now too. I'll put on music and I'll just dance, and it's crazy by myself.
Isn't it the best though?
But I'm moving.
It's so easy
because there's so many movements. And so you work out, you just dance for a half hour, and I'll get a good sweat. But that's one of the things I know when I have to get motivated. I figure I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to dance for a day. Yeah, as long as you're moving, and that's what I tell people. Part of my workout I'll get on a treadmill, I'll walk 5 minutes, run 5 minutes, as I said, for 35 minutes back and forth. You change your heart rate going up and down. Do the yoga and life step. My wife works out harder than I do. She says, don't do the things. She works out that. I said, she did a workout, and I went with her.
She's much younger than you.
Yes, much younger. And I told her, I said, she goes, great, are you going to go back? I said, no. She said, why? I said, because it was too tough. What do you mean? I said, you do. I admire the fact you do it. I ain't that ambitious anymore. I do it to maintain, but you're doing it. So I know my workouts. I maintain. I do my body work every day, whether I do cardio or not. Strength work, I hate weights, but you got to do weights to maintain the density of the bones. Resistance. So I do a lot of the bands. Once in a while I'll do weights, not heavy weights. I never do more than 30.
Well, and I love your story though tell me that. So like you talk about people and they say like, well, I don't have weights. You're like, you can go and get tell them. I love that.
One thing I tell people is one of the workouts as you get older. Like I said, if you want to do a boxing workout, well, I don't have. I said shadowbox. Shadowbox, the best workout. You could just do shadowbox for the camera.
Shadowboxing is hard. You can do it like watching TV, but
I do that when I travel. I don't bring no stuff. In the morning I get up and I shadowbox watching TV. But when I work 35 minutes, and I shadowbox, and I get a good sweat. But I tell people, if you want some resistance, people say, well, I got no hand weights. Well, I said, you got canned goods, right? Pick up 2 cans of, canned whatever, what do you have in there?
Canned green beans,
right,
canned pumpkin, canned anything.
Exactly.
Tomato sauce?
resistance. So it's got some resistance. You don't got to be not as you get older. It's just got to be some resistance. Don't got to be a lot of resistance, but some. And I tell people, watch TV. Don't want to run? Don't run. March in place. You can march in place. Just do it and watch TV. I said or do the dance or whatever you want to do. But it doesn't got to be anything that's going to be too strenuous. It doesn't got to be anything that you got to think about too much. Just as long as the body's moving.
Structured.
No, exactly. Nothing structured. Exactly. That's the word. So, but do some strength work in there too. Even if you just get a couple of cans, and do, resistance workout with your arms and rows and that's all. I don't get, like I said, I don't get too adventurous. I'm not too ambitious. It's just maintenance.
And and it's simple, easy stuff. I want to talk a little bit about what you're doing today now.
Sure.
So let's start with that. If we want to hear you, we can turn into WKDN 570 on the radio every Thursday.
Thursday night at 6 o'clock.
And I love the name, the Boom Boom
Yeah,
Room.
oh, yeah, man, you're entering the Boom Boom Room.
Yeah, tell us tell us about it.
Well, when I got back, I said, I got to do something. And I had been approached about possibly doing a radio show in LA and stuff, and boxing show. And, I met with the people and it didn't materialize, and it was not quite what I wanted. I just wanted to make it not just a boxing show. I want to make it a boxing / entertainment show. That's kind of, and discuss anything. I didn't want to be limited to, so they gave me, when I come back, I got into contact with my friend Cornell Bogdan, who's my co-host, and who's now known as Cornell Bang Bang Bogdan, has a new nickname, Bang Bang. And he got in touch with me, he got me in touch with the president of the radio station up there in Clear Channel. And iHeartRadio. I'm sorry, iHeartRadio now. Okay. iHeartRadio. And I pitched it, and Bill was wonderful. And I just said, he said, yeah, we'd love to do it.
And we can call in and ask questions.
Actually, that's the business.
Okay.
Text or email. It's email. Because one of the things I thought we'd have people calling, and they said, if people call in 5 minutes, hey, I know your mother, I know your father, oh, hey, you used to play ball. You got 10 minutes of that. People, and other things too, if people want to call and make, jerk offs and make comments and this, it cuts out all the riffraff. So you have people now doing the email them, get their questions, and you answer them. Look at them, what's the best questions. And I'm trying to get all of them. Eventually I want to get to, all of them. We only do 2 or 3 at a time. But eventually, next week, we'll come back to the other ones. So we always try to get this, and then we try to make an interesting top 5 list. So I try to get top 5 anything. Top 5 bands of all time. I just got asked last week my top 5 sitcom dads, 5 top sitcom dads of all time. I had to think about it. That was interesting. And it's 5 top lists, top 5 lists. My Ray's rant, and that's one of the things that bother me about in general in society about Youngstown, people leave the driveways clear when you're pulling out of someplace. First of all, it is a law. I know people don't care. The law. Cars cannot block driveways of restaurants or stores when you're trying to get out. You're supposed to leave it open. Try it. Because with you on the other side, you're hoping somebody does it for you. That's the truth. So I do a Ray's rant, top 5 list, and then the best kept hidden secret. And I thought every week I said, hey, I got a place that nobody knows about it. Can I talk about it? Yeah. So then it became like, let's try best kept hidden secrets, whether it be a restaurant, whether it be a chocolatier, or if it could be a clothing store, or whatever. So we talk about best kept secrets, or a new wine that I'm trying to. I said, hey man, that's a great wine, great bang for the buck, whatever, So whatever it could be, and people suggest things to me. So people write in and suggest things to me. I say, yeah, give it a shot.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
It is. And the one thing I appreciate Cornell and Bill and the iHeartRadio family allowed me to do it, because I was often told I had a face for radio.
You have a great face.
For radio, yeah.
No. But I like that. Hey, upcoming events, because I know you do a lot of stuff, starting with your foundation. Let's talk a little bit about the foundation, because I know it's your baby.
Yeah, that was something I always wanted to do. I just didn't know how to go about it. And being in LA, doing things for fun, or coming home, and being invited to different events for People's Foundation. It's a wonderful thing. I really admire people who do it. I really do. And I said, I want to do that. I want to help people. I just don't know how to go about it. So my dear friend Maria Metters said, let me look into it. And she got the papers, and you got to sign these papers and send it to the state. But then the first question is, what's your mission statement? And I think about it. I said, to keep it local. People need help a lot of places, but people in this town, a lot of people in this town need help. And and that was it. That's the mission statement.
Well, I'll tell you what's interesting, because this says a lot about how your foundation. A couple of little interesting things about that I didn't even realize. It's not just about giving money. It's about giving your time as much as is. I mean, the money's wonderful, and you need that to do things. But this is what I found interesting. You didn't know this. Maria told me this, because I said, when I was asking about your special qualities, she goes, we've taken people to get medicine. We've taken people to get groceries. If they can't afford it, we'll help them pay for that. She said, we get very involved with kids, and especially kids that might have learning disabilities. So she goes, it's not just about, it's important that we can give them some financial help, but we really, and Ray's very generous about giving his time and making sure that, they have what they need. That's pretty special.
Well, I'm hoping, because, we're not where we need to be financially, so we can't do all the things we want to do financially. We help people as much as we can, but I think it's more important. Time is worth money. Time is worth money, as you know that, and it's as valuable as money. Because time is one thing I learned. Money you can get back. You lose money, you find money, you make money, you spend money. Money's an ongoing so time. Once you lose it, it's gone.
And for busy people, time is more
valuable than money.
Special.
That's right.
And more.
That's right.
It's like even I think people like to hear, I care about you. People like to say, I'm here, like to know somebody's there for them. To take your valuable time, and I know how in demand your time is, and give it to people, to do nice things because you care. That's really special.
Well, one thing I said when I come home, I wanted to help as much as I can. I want to do as much as I can. So I get invited for a lot of things, and I tell people I appreciate it. If I can do it, I'll do it. And I really do want to help the causes, just to show and support it, And I've done okay with it. I'm trying to get better with it. There's some people I know I haven't been able to get to yet, but again, I'm fortunate, but I think it's important for the people to know, especially locally. Like I said, they have a big part of my career, but I think one thing I learned about coming back, and it's one reason why I was looking for. I'm comfortable here. I'm here now. I'm not. I may go back to California for a period of time because my babies are still there. I got to see my babies, and they visit me here.
By the way, tell us, and I had the pleasure of meeting them, but not really getting to know them. I know they're fabulous. So that you have
3 daughters. 3 children. My daughter's the oldest, Carmenina. Leonardo is 24, aspiring actor, is extraordinaire.
Oh,
and Ray's 19, and he's a fashion student at Colorado State.
Awesome.
And so, so I'm very blessed. Wonderful kids, great kids, and fine young men and women.
Yeah.
They're going to do well in life.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I know you make time. You've got so many events coming up. If people want to try to schedule you, I know you'll do whatever you can to work into your schedule. We can contact Maria.
Correct.
For speaking engagements.
And speaking engagements, bat mitzvahs, birthday parties.
Hey.
I shake hands, kiss babies, take pictures. I do it all.
I love it.
At 330-559-8891. 559-8891.
And we're going to put a graphic up. So
okay, appreciate it. Like I said, if you need help of some sort, that's the thing. We're getting more, we're getting a lot of people need help, and we're not able to help them people with the fiscal or financial means. So we're trying to make give my time of some sort and help you in any other ways. But we're trying to do it, and that's why we're having a lot of these events. I'm thinking you can only bang on the door so many times. The people are very kind here, but after a while, I get it, man. Leave me alone. But they've been very supportive of it, and we're trying to, you got to manage it, and Christmas is coming up and Thanksgiving, and we want to make sure people got holiday food on their table. So, that's the thing. I think there's nothing sadder in this life, really. than to see a family, a parent who's trying to provide for his kids and who can't get them a nice Thanksgiving dinner or Christmas gifts and stuff. That's the saddest part. I was blessed that I had it. I know you did. I was able to do it for my children. But being out in Los Angeles taught me so much about life, because my children went to school. Santa Monica is a very affluent area, right? Mm-hmm. But there is a pocket where there's about a 2 square mile pocket where the poorest of the poor, immigrant kids, first generation kids. Santa Monica ain't cheap, so these people are living, just working to live. They ain't got nothing for the kids. And you see that. So, I've seen where my kids have gone to school with producers' kids, high-end kids, and then poor to the poor. And that's it opens your eyes, and that's it's something. And that's why I said when I come back, I want to help those in Youngstown, because Youngstown's got we got a lot of hard people who hit upon hard times, and maybe you can't do it for a year, maybe you can't do it for a month, but you certainly could do it a day or two to give them some relief.
Yes, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I can't thank you enough for being here. I hope maybe you'll come back.
Oh, that's a done deal. I'm expecting that I'll be invited back, because I absolutely. I enjoyed this.
I love it.
You got a wonderful place here. You got wonderful people with you, and you had lunch prepared, man. You can't beat that.
Hey,
man.
only the best for the best, right? Thank you so much, dear. I adore you. My love to Tina and your family.
And yours family, too.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
I hope you enjoyed the show. Thank you so much for watching. To my guest and friend, Ray Boom Boom Mancini. Continued success, honey, health, and happiness. I'm Mary Pipino, and this is Fit for You.